Hey guys, I'm making another video. This one is on songwriting. I posted my first video a few hours ago, and one of the comments was asking about the songwriting process. And songwriting is my favorite thing of all time, so I'm going to share with you as much as I can about this big turning point I had in my songwriting experience. So I'm going to do my best without saying I'm trying to avoid This is take 3, and I've been saying too much. Anyway, I grew up on classic rock and grunge. And in classic rock and grunge music, the style of lyricism is very abstract. Granted, I guess in classic rock, they do sing a lot about women and stuff like that and sex. So besides that, but a lot of times it was innuendos anyway, so it wasn't even as direct. It's not as direct as folk and country, which is why I like folk and country these days. I love the directness of it. I think that's really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this change from me writing abstract lyrics to writing what I call grounded lyrics people can relate to. And honestly, I kind of had 2 moments. There was a moment in 2019. I found an artist in the band People's Blues of Richmond, Tim Beavers. Shout out Tim. Great artist, great lyricist, very influenced by many artists, but I could tell he was influenced by Bob Dylan, and I was never interested in Bob Dylan until I heard Tim. And then I started looking into all that stuff, and I guess, don't get me wrong, Bob Dylan writes some really abstract lyrics, but folk music is really what I'm talking about. And I noticed that my lyrics didn't have like that much of a thread through them in my songs. There was lines that were impactful, but when you put all the lines together, it wasn't quite cohesive. So then I started to write songs lyrics first, and there's just so much freedom you get that way. There's so many pros, and I loved it. I immediately fell in love with it, probably because it was something different, and I had been writing the same way for so long. I've been doing like the lyric first thing now for a while, probably 5 years, and I think it works for me. But why I love it is because because you guys love it. That's honest. I mean, that's seriously the craziest part about it, is that when I started writing about my memories and more grounded subjects that people can relate to, I started to get a response. And man, let me tell you, when you've been playing music as long as most of us have, I started when I was 12, and before I went viral and was able to do it for a living, music, I was 28. So, I mean, it's still great to have it happen for me at this age is awesome. And I'm not famous or nothing, but I don't have a day job. So that's pretty sick. And that's all I ever wanted when I was a kid. I just wanted to make music for a living. So the reason I'm talking about it is because I feel like I have the genre and the writing style to thank, in part to thank. And I'm just, so on that note, the artist that turned me over to country music, and you know, there's the huge country thing happening, and it happened during the pandemic for me. I heard Billy Strings. Billy Strings got me into country, and I really loved the guitar playing. And then I found Tyler Childers, and when I found Tyler, I saw part of myself in him and his singing and stuff, but I really craved the writing style, and I related to a lot of the stuff he was saying, and I was like, oh, I could definitely write like that. There's some stuff in me that could come out like that. And then that's when Town Out Heathen happened. And Town Out Heathen, probably for those, I'm sure you guys all know, that are watching, if you know me, that's my most popular song. So that's to me, the most grounded, easy to understand. No, it's not like it's whimsical, but it's not like the lyrics aren't abstract, you know? So I just think it's incredible that you can create poetry out of really simple things. And I think it reminds me of like Zen. I think like just the simple stuff in life is what needs to be brought to the surface, and we need to appreciate. I love using the artist Jesse Wells as an example. You guys can probably tell that I'm influenced by him. I love Jesse. I also think you should totally for me, I totally wear my artist on my sleeve. I do not care if people think I sound like an artist. I've been accused of being the Walmart version of all my favorite artists, probably at some point. No big deal, man. I think all songwriters know that we're all stealing off of each other to some degree. And if you're not, you're fucking up. It's influence, you know? So if you're a songwriter and you're struggling you're posting all the time and you're wondering why it's not working, maybe this resonates, or maybe this hits a spot where you're like, oh shit, I could actually work on this. And the only other thing I want to say to cap it off is, well, actually not to cap it off yet. I got two things I want to say. First of all, let me backtrack. Sorry. Tyler, and he has a song called White House Road. That's what got me to write Town Rat Heathen. And you can probably see the influence. And my song was originally called Figure 8. I was writing about a place in my mind that I had lived and had memories at that I could draw from. And I noticed that Tyler's song was called White House Road, and to me it seemed like he was drawing from those memories. So I was like, oh man, that's a well I could really draw from. So I remember I was playing online poker and I thought about the figure 8, and it just flew in, all the lyrics flew into my head, and I just started writing them down. And there wasn't a lot of crossed out lines. Like the lines just came out damn near perfect, like exactly the way they are. And I was like, yes, it's so cool. And you guys, I didn't know at the time that it was going to be as popular as it is, but I knew that it felt good. And then when I finally shared it, it got 500,000 views on TikTok, I think. And the most views I had prior to that on any video was like 9,000. Like views of me playing was like 9,000. So then it totally flipped the way I write music, and that's why my music sounds the way it does. So if you go back and listen to like my first 2 records, They Finally Cracked Me, Life Inside a Wheel, and then even maybe the one after that, Mimicking the Sun, I think is the one after that. Yeah. That's when Mimicking is when it starts to get a little more grounded, but Arkansas is when it gets the most grounded in lyrically. And then if you could probably hear more abstract lines in the earlier stuff. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I feel about it. It's more obvious if you go back to my older band, that was like a psychedelic rock band that was very, very abstract in the writing. So anyway, man, let me think. Is there anything else I want to say? All I know is if you're a songwriter and you're struggling, try to dig deep into things that you feel and can draw from easily, and have it be about yourself, because then you're the only person that is you. It's corny, but you are the only you that is out there. So if you want to write a unique song, write about yourself, man. Write about yourself. All right, I'm gonna stop it there. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Peace out.